Greetings, viewers, and thanks for joining me out in the shop today. The $1,100 LS swap is done. There are some things I need to change. I'm going to go over the wiring mess right now and why I need to change it. And then I'm going to do a video about a little problem I'm having, but I'm going to go over my swap bumper to bumper. The reason I still got a spaghetti mess here is because I thought I was buying a box I could screw my wires to. Instead, I bought a box that gave me power feeds to run to a clamped together box. I didn't want that. I wanted to run them straight to my fuse box. So right now I have my, it tells you what goes where, which bank to go to, your O2s, mass airflow, right bank, left bank, injectors, coils, etc., transmission. Got my OBD2 port wired up. Yeah, so I'm going to change this, but this was 90 bucks and it does work. My computer, I still haven't mounted it, and the reason for that I'm going to touch on real brief here is I'm getting a UO107 code. Oh, excuse me, every time I say that code it chokes me up. I'm getting a UO107 code, which is miscommunication between my throttle control box and my computer. Now, you probably look at this and say it's where you cut all them wires, you idiot, but I've tested all these wires for continuity from point to point, which is leading me to believe I may have a problem with my actual box because this is testing okay. Same as the pedal, same as these wires. Same as all these wires that go to the places they go. I still need to test my little motor thing on the side of the throttle body. Again, I'm 2 minutes in. That's not what I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to tuck this away briefly. Now I'll just set all that aside where it's not interfering, hopefully, with the wires. And I had to plug that back in, but I know it looks jank. And if I can find a harness, somebody will just pick those wires out. 2 of them go to the computer, all the rest of them go to the throttle body. So if you got a LS harness laying around for drive-by wire and you got that little part, help a brother out here. Okay, now I'm gonna get my list. Okay, right here. This is how I got 1290 in this, but I had to buy a battery. That was 212 bucks. I'll go over all these things here real quick. All right, the EVAP block-off plate fiasco ended up costing me $16 total. O2 sensor, you know what that is. Fuel filter. That takes a C5 Corvette fuel filter I got from AutoZone. Hose clamps, pipes, my exhaust pipes I bought. Muffler, I had to buy one because I used my exhaust on the other side. I had to buy 4 gallons of antifreeze. Oil change, all that makes sense. Rear seal, miscellaneous AutoZone. That's where I got my turn down tips. Some, damn, what did I get? Some gasket maker, maybe. Anyway, some parts cleaner and shit like that. 100 bucks to get my computer flashed. 90 bucks for that fuse box, and 140 bucks because I went with the fuel pump that goes in the gas tank. That was $718 worth of stuff I bought. I sold my old engine and transmission for $340, which took that total down to $378. My $378 plus my engine and transmission I paid $700 for is $1,078. That's what I have in this down to fluids. I needed a battery. My old truck had a little tiny shitty old battery in it that'd go dead if you didn't drive a truck every day. And this one's side post. So I did buy a new battery, but that's not an essential part of the swap. Nor are the wheels I gifted myself for taking so damn long to get this done. Now, again, briefly on that code I'm getting for pedal miscommunication. Once I reset the code, the truck operates perfect. I'm going to do, like I said, a little video pleading for help on that because the truck runs great. after you reset the code, and I think I've regrounded everything, checked everything 5 times. I had this running 6, 7, 8 days ago now. 8 days it's been running. And I just got it to where I figured out if I reset the freaking code, it would come out of limp mode every time. So what did I do? I bought a 140,000 mile junkyard 4.8. I wasn't going to wait for a 5.3 and pay a little more. I wanted a nice low mileage motor with a complete donor truck. So I got the complete donor truck with everything I needed for the engine to make it run, $500. And then I bought a 4L60E for $200 additional. So that's what I'm using. It's an 05 4.8. And let me tell you, it frickin' screams. Yeah, it is awesome. Up here, I'm still using the 90 Chevy 5.7 radiator because the radiator in the donor truck was bad. That hose that went to my box that used to set over here, because this is a closed system, needed to be plumbed into this box here. Now I drilled a hole, shoved that in real nice and tight, glued it up there with some silicone. I got a little zip tie holder onto it. So far so good, because both of these are closed systems, and when pressure would build up, this cap would give way first and it just puke out instead of sending it to the overflow, reservoir to be rerun. My throttle body heater, I just cut this and tied this together. I still want to put a metal fitting in there, but so far after about 100 miles of test drive, it's working fine, okay? I did find a bad wire on my mass airflow. Man, I must have been hell on this wire harness pulling this motor out. Next time I do one, I'm definitely taking it out myself. And I still need to test continuity in this box. The code's puzzling to me just because I don't understand. Apparently it loses a signal for like 3/4 of a second, and that makes it go into limp mode, but I digress. Heater hoses hooked up in the exact same places as heater hoses before. Coolant reservoir still zip tied into place because in order to get this box to fit, remember, if you didn't watch any of it, you might want to go back for details. You can see I cut the box off. It's open element all the way. It gets fresh air out of that hole in there, and the vent from under, comes up. It fits under my hood. It rubs barely right there on my hood. I did have to cut that little piece of insulation out because I felt like that might be putting weird pressure on it. Well, I need to tighten that up, it looks like. Okay. Transmission, I've run up to temperature, checked my fluids. I needed to add 7 quarts of fluid to that, but we did spill it putting it in. The harness looks pretty good everywhere. I got it wrapped up on all the wires. I've tested and double checked and run up to here. Now, I had a slight intermittent miss on this side. Turns out this wire to this plug that runs underneath right here had rubbed raw on this coil and had a bare spot that was touching, and you could wiggle this plug and make that quit. That has nothing to do with my code thing, but it was causing me to have an intermittent miss just by untaping the harness underneath, and I ran it up this way instead of like it was. But I was able to find that just by looking for it. Okay, so stock air cleaner will still work. I used the LS hoses, top and bottom. My transmission lines, I used the 700 R4, lines that go into the radiator, and then just cut the ends off the 4L60E ones, put them together with several hose clamps, I did flare them first so they wouldn't shoot out of there. And so far, it doesn't look like I have any leaks. It's still wet down there from being assembled, from discovering that this needed to be vented, because I didn't know that at first. You can see where it blew coolant everywhere. Yeah, over here, the old oil cooler ports in the radiator are still leaking. All right, that's the battery tray out of the donor 05 truck, welded right into place here. So that takes care of the cooling system. It runs between 185 and 190. And if I stand on it real hard for a minute, it gets up about 195. But then it comes right back down to between 185 and 190. Allegedly, it just had a new thermostat, water pump, and all that stuff put on. I don't know, I might need to check it. Oh, I still don't have any wipers because I cut my ground wire. If you watched when I cut wires out of the truck, don't remove those two red ones that went up to this power block, because they control your lights, turn signals, dash, HVAC, and stuff like that. Now, these were my tires that I had already sitting around, and yeah, I felt like I deserved something for that, for making myself wait so long. Right now, I have nothing on my dash hooked up except my fuel gauge still works. I think I know which wires for I know which wire comes off the alternator that goes to my volt gauge, but I don't have it hooked up yet. I know it's charging. I busted my glove box lid off, so that's unfortunate. I haven't put that back yet because I wanted to wire up my gauges. I kept my old harness. I might be able to get my oil pressure gauge. Temperature gauge never worked. Right now I've been using my torque app on my phone. Okay, yeah, by using that torque app on my phone, I can set it up through the OBD2 port thing you saw plugged in out there with lights on it, and then I can use my phone as a screen. It doesn't give me oil pressure, but it gives me temperature, RPM, speed, oil temperature, trans temperature, acceleration performance, all kinds of things it does. I know the engine had great oil pressure. It doesn't make a tick or a sound. I can't wait to get a proper set of gauges hooked up. I'm going to hook a probably Scan Gauge 3 up and use it, or maybe buy me a digital dash. We talked about that. Right now, it's more important that I get that code fixed. All right, what else did I use? Oh, underneath everything is pretty much the same. You saw my shitty exhaust. You saw how I cut and bent the shifter rod. I had to put a return spring on the top and a couple zip ties to hold it tight, because if you didn't slam it up into park, it was just missing park. It hasn't messed up again since, but I think there's too much slop in it, and I may actually need to weld it to that shifter linkage piece on the transmission. Spider. But I'd still be able to unbolt it from the transmission. So I may end up welding it in place if it doesn't stop doing that. Let's see. Transmission cross member, same. Transmission mount, the same. Transmission drive shaft, that's the same one I had in my 90. This exhaust is 3-inch. I used an S-shaped pipe I had to run it over to that side and get it away from the gas tank. The only reason it has 3-inch exhaust is because I got free 3-inch exhaust once before and put it on here, and I didn't want to buy all new. So it's one new muffler, one old, a bunch of pipe. Believe me when I tell you, this does not hit the frame anywhere. There is not a single rattle. You can go around and there's room under it. Just is hanging here for now on some on some mechanics wire. Makes a great holder upper. Trying not to do more than a couple of burnouts. I've already pissed my neighbors off. This is like crazy loud. We'll fire it up and I'll clear that code. I wanted to go back over there and show you. All right, this is that fuel filter setup, okay? That is the Corvette C5 filter. The big line closest to us is inlet. The top one that has the loop in it is return. I hooked them up to the ones that went to the tank. Yeah, they're aluminum because they had to be replaced before. The piece coming out of the filter is the fuel evap tube from the old engine. Now, from the rubber coupler on up, it's the actual fuel line that went to the LS. It just so happened that I got it to work out. And yes, I have a transmission that could be dripping on the exhaust and possible fuel fire here, but Safari so good on my bit of testing. Part of this is my message that you can get your truck running and driving on the road with an LS motor for not a fortune. This is my plate that covers my fuel pump. I was super happy that it would just pop off of there because I did buy the in-tank pump. It was $140 or whatever, but that was the in-tank pump, so I could just pull that plate off and boom, that was hooked up. And it's fucking mint. Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw these, if you like these, my hell yes LS swap. I love it. I'm proud of my LS swap. I've already been made fun of. Everybody put the LS in. You know, there's a reason for it. This is my first one, but I know of them. Yes, I put the hood scoop on because I thought it just needed it now. With that nasty sounding exhaust. So I'm going to wrap this video up, but I gotta say, without my muscle and my brain, and by that I mean my buddies who provided muscle and brains, I couldn't have done this. I'd still be working on it and really be suffering, let me tell you, because I got so much help wrenching on it from Charlie, and I got so much brain work on it from Todd. He's probably never going to want to talk to me about LS swaps again, but I couldn't have done it without him, and we'll get this code thing figured out. That doesn't even bother me, but yeah, you guys, I couldn't have done this in the time I did it without all your help, so much appreciate that. I think it looks fantastic with the wheels on it. Let me go ahead and fire it up in the shop here. Neighbor deciding to mow right when I want to show my truck. Let's see what it sounds like. It'll go into limp mode, remember. Sounds so good, but you see, I can't rev it up because it goes into limp mode, and I can't clear the codes while you're watching because I have to use my phone for everything because my poor old show only has one man, one camera. And but yeah, when I get that straight and get my wires straight, I will take you guys for a ride, okay? Like I said, I pissed my neighbors off plenty already. My neighbor's mowing, so you can't hear it run outside. Plus, I got to reset that code, and that takes a couple of minutes, and I need my phone, etc., etc. So, did I do it? Yes, I did. Does it need a couple things? Yes, it does. Can I drive it and tow with it and work with it right now today? Yes, I can. So thanks for joining me for this, how to do an $1,100 LS swap. If you have any questions, watch some other 9 videos on it. I sure appreciate you. Love you. Thanks for joining me. Have a super great day.